the amount of the money and how many people were being employed, what their compensation was, and asked you to look at how many you wanted to employ and the amount you wanted to spend. Okay. The last thing I mentioned was the $125,000 gateway money. Now, as it turned out, I didn't have the latest edited, revised copy of the budget. So your copy did not have gateway on it, mine did. So that's where the gateway came. It got gone because you wouldn't have passed anything with it on there because we don't need any gateway. Now, what the $125,000 is going to go for in the way of signs, I don't know. That to me seems like a lot of money, but you know where it's going, I don't know. And then we just ending up here, I want everybody to know when I come up here and I speak to you, it's either my opinion, which I tell you it's my opinion, or it comes from what I've heard sitting in here every month, or what I have gotten from open records. And with that, y'all go past the budget, you know.
All right, thank you very much. All right, any other speaker appearance at this time? Okay. All right, we're going to move a little further on our agenda for tonight, and we're going to go into our public hearing. Can I get a motion for us to go into the public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Amen. All those opposed? Same sign. That motion has been carried, and the public hearing is open. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak before we go into our hearing? Public is open at this time.
Good afternoon again, council, and Mr. Gotta give me 2 seconds. I want to make sure I got my time right. All right. My name is Kevin Owens. Again, a member and a resident of District 2. Just wanted to touch on a couple of things, but I think it's important, especially from some of the previous speakers, to go ahead and kind of clear this air a little bit so that the council can get into its business. Last week, we had someone come and speak, and she mentioned that she had visited the City of Camilla Senior Center. I'm not sure where, and of course I can ask, but the City of Camilla does not have, that is sponsored anyway by the City of Camilla, a senior citizen, senior center, if you will. And I hope that in this year's budget that we allocate the funds necessary to ensure that our seniors are taken care of. So I just wanted to point that out. I also want to point out, as one of the speakers mentioned, as it relates to SPLOS. SPLOS is in a lot of ways a transient type of, and absolutely correct as it relates to a 1% sales tax or 1% tax, if you will. But SPLOS, whether you live in Camilla or passing through Camilla, that money stays here. And I think that's the importance of SPLOS here in this city and other municipalities and counties. Last year, fiscal year, the City of Camilla earns about $60,000 per month in SPLOS funds. It's about $700,000 a year. That is huge. Dinner and Blanc, I want to remind, and just had another speaker mention Dinner and Blanc. I think it's important to point out that Class of 99, which puts on Dinner and Blanc, is a nonprofit organization. I would argue that not all classes are nonprofit organizations. Before you can use public funds, you have to have a public purpose. Council, I would submit to you that for the last 15 years here in the city of Camilla, not 20, we once partnered with the Chamber of Commerce, and where we gave them somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 per year to put on events in the city. One of them was Snack Days. That was a $15,000 budget. So what Class of 99 and Dinner and Blanc is doing is not unusual, if you will. What is pretty awesome is that class of '99, in addition to bringing 200 to 300 folks downtown every single year, and I would like to argue that if you recall, the city of Camilla was just named one of the best managed cities under 10,000 in this state. One of the key points pointed out in that write-up was, and that was Business View magazine, and there are nearly 1 million subscribers. Again, that was Business View magazine, and it's nearly 1 million subscribers. And part of that thing that was pointed out was Dinner and Blanc. Those are 200 to 300 folks spending money, pumping gas. They're probably staying at another hotel outside of the city of Camilla, but nevertheless, they're spending money here. And on top of that, they're using the proceeds from the sale of tickets to give scholarships to regional kids here in Mitchell County. I think that is awesome. The library, as Councilman Collins pointed out last week, he's absolutely correct, and I agree with him, that when you have an educated community, you are adding to its economic development. But also, I'd like to point out to the councilman and to everyone that in addition to learning, you can't learn on an empty stomach. We know for a fact that 40% of the kids are going to bed hungry every single night here in this town. And I would also like to point out to another guest that came up here and spoke that of the MEAG fund that she spoke of, that wasn't, the city of Camilla does not have a reserve. City of Camilla never had a reserve. I believe she's speaking about the MEAG trust fund. A bulk of that has gone to pay for our electric bill every month. So we've been averaging somewhere in the neighborhood of $2.4 million over the last 3 or 4 years. You do the math, get close to that. But, Council, we have a library over at the New Resource Center, and we've made allocations to ensure that we're doing things over there like robotics and other things to help move this city forward. As my time winds down, I hope that one of the council members picks this discussion up as it relates to the maintenance of effort. I know that Councilman Morgan talked about the state law, which is obviously a huge issue or barrier for us. So with that, Council, I hope that this budget passed tonight. It'd be great to see that finally. So that would be a good thing. So I encourage that this budget be passed tonight on time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other speaker appears for the public hearing? Okay, hearing none. We're going to go ahead and get into the items for tonight. But before council, I move forward. I know we have gone into our agenda for tonight, but could, for the record, can I give an approval of our agenda for tonight?
Motion to approve.
And second. All right. All those in favor? Motion carried. Thank you all once again. Now,
Mr. Middleton,
ma'am, yes, go ahead, Madam Attorney.
if there are no other members of the public that are going to speak in the public hearing, you can close the floor for public hearing, and then council can have its discussion on the budget, because I'm assuming that's coming up next, correct?
It is. Thank you so much for that. All right. Hearing no one else from the public, at this time, I'd like to get a motion to close our public hearing.
Motion to close. Second.
All right. All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. All right. Public hearing is closed at this time. Now, council, it's our time to go through our budget for this year. As we gathered on our last budget hearing, which was budget hearing number 2, we all came up with some good ideas. There was 4 different areas that we kind of focused on. One was the police cars. Another one was the violent prevention, election, and also, as some of you council members know, that I've reached out to you about the senior program. In fact, going back through, looking through some minutes in our May meeting, we discussed and approved the senior program, which would be $40,000. And we were supposed to start discussing this at our first budget hearing. But in communicating with my council, I kind of updated them on what the program is, and everybody's like, okay, we got it. So at this time, for two of these items, first item is the police vehicles. City manager, would you like to kind of elaborate on this? I think she had a conversation with the chief about, because we put in the budget that we were going to do 6 of these vehicles, but now the chief was kind of very negotiable and said that he would go with 4. And would you like to kind of elaborate on that, to kind of give us a little more insight on how that went?
Okay, so as I mentioned last week, he has decided not to go with the Chargers, the Durango's Pursuit style, which is what his preference is. And after speaking with him and talking it through, I'll say we decided, because we kind of did it together, that getting 4 vehicles financed in 3 years, getting those paid off and then doing it again, still got a 2-year lifespan with vehicles, 2 to 3 years, so he's still got new vehicles in the fleet, and he's fixing to push 4 more into the fleet in a 3-year period. I think going with the 4 vehicles, the Pursuit, the Dodge Pursuit, financing for 3 years is gonna be the best option for him. If it doesn't work, then we'll change up, but when we talked through it, it seemed to be what he was looking for, and it made sense to me, so that's what I've asked to be put in the budget for him.
And that was 111.
842. That's correct. And that goes along with the putting the equipment and the striking
So that-
on the
okay.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, so that includes
12 outfit per vehicle. So 48.
Any other comments on that? Any discussion?
So what you saying, Cheryl, is we'll revisit this next year?
Well, I think you probably need to give it 2 years. I think it's gonna work, because I mean, if we do the 3-year, and at the end of the 3 year, do 4 more vehicles, he's still got at least, so he's getting about 5 years out of his vehicles. On the Chargers, he's probably gonna get more out of the Durango, they don't have as many problems as the Chargers do. So at the 3-year, when it expires, then you're gonna push 4 more in, so now he's got practically not brand new, but he's got 4 vehicles and 4 fairly new vehicles, that's 8. You might only have to do that 1 more time, or either get him on a cycle where you're moving out at least 2 per year. I think in a 6-year time frame, y'all will probably be in a good position to maybe get back into rotation. But
Well,
so long without doing it, now we're kind of,
The reason that term the 5, because, this 3 years is what the police call hard. I'm talking about, they get a lot of wear and tear.
they do.
So a 3-year payout's much better.
And hopefully we can get the battery packs installed in, because I know they don't like to cut them off, they like them to idle, because they don't want their equipment and technology inside the vehicle to go down, but if we can get it to transition over to the battery pack, they do need to step out of the vehicle and go to the station for 30 minutes or an hour, at least they don't have to keep it running, so. We'll see how that works out.
What are we gonna do about the battery pack? What are we gonna do? Are we
We're
talking
still-
about it, or are we?
We're still, I got Robert working on it, I mean, there are some other agencies that use them, and they seem to work fine. I mean, I don't know that it's gonna work in every instance, but what you got now is, I think they're on 8-hour shifts down there. I think Jamie's on 12, or they're on 8, 12 hours. I mean, that car is basically running for 12 hours.
But have you committed to buying the battery packs, or are
Not
we
yet, he's
talking
still,
about
he's
it?
still gonna make sure they're gonna work, we may just try this one thing.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
Before we jump out there and do all
It
the.
may not work. Sometimes these good ideas
I
don't work.
know. Yeah, we'll probably just do a trial run on one of them. If it works, then we'll transition some of the others that may come in, so. He's excited, I mean, he's excited, he's got flight now, and he's getting through the vehicle, so the momentum's picking up down there, and I'm sure the morale is too, just knowing that y'all are looking out for him, and he's very appreciative of it.
Okay. Any other discussion on the police cars? Okay. All right. Our next item, that we talked about last week, and I think Councilman Morgan brought it to our attention, and it was also included into this budget, is the, violent prevention. Councilman Morgan, I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of give us a little more insight on what you're looking for and how this program is going to be effective for this area.
Absolutely. Not much more to add from my thoughts from last week. Again, simply put, this allocation seeks to be proactive and provide more violence prevention programming in the city. And we just got out of a discussion on equipping our police force with additional vehicles. And my thought is if we spend more funds being proactive for violence prevention, we can begin to slow down the need for additional vehicles. I did have a chance to review the last police report we received, and I think it's time to get a new one. But there was 536 officer-initiated engagements, and I'm just seeing just a lot of time our officers are having inside of the vehicles, which can explain to the urgent need for more fleet. But again, if we are more proactive as a governing body, and giving our community the resources it needs to curb some of the violence and the need for the use of a lot of de-escalation in our communities, I think we'll be better off as well. And again, this will be for, again, this council to determine what this violence intervention looks like. I want it to be based on, again, the needs here in Camilla. And then this resource will give us what we need to begin some of that programming for this very needed area.
All right, any discussion, Councilor?
Would it be possible to partner with the court system and perhaps those who have demonstrated violent offenses be served with the program?
Absolutely. So many opportunities. I see just a panel, maybe a committee, putting this together to really fit.
How much was this supposed to cost?
There's no set cost. I'm giving us a $10,000 buffer as a pilot to begin this program. You see some cities with a much higher violence prevention budget than this because they have a whole office for it. I look forward to that time for the city. We can do something like that.
And who's supposed to be doing this? Who's going to do this?
The city of Camilla is going to allocate this fund, so we're going to be the ones that are doing violence prevention. We'll have some partners. The city of Camilla.
But the city of Galveston is going to do this.
Correct. We'll play a major role in this, but there'll be additional
Who
partners.
in the city of Galveston going to be doing it?
Members on this committee who get selected.
And what kind of knowledge are they supposed to have to do this?
Knowledge about the city of Camilla and that they care about the violent acts that are happening. They care to keep our children and youth out of jail. So that means general care about this community will be the qualification for that.
And what's the 10,000 going to be used for?
I would program
So we would determine a need.
determine the need, we'll have the funds available to do it.
Now, is this, somebody mentioned that Pelham was doing this?
I'm doing a version of it, that fits Pelham currently.
I had understood they have a grant. Is that right or wrong?
I'm not too sure what Pelham is doing as far as how they're funding it. When the city of Camilla has a $53 million budget, and we can work how we're going to fund our own programs. So I'm not sure. Maybe they do have a grant, but I don't see that the city of Camilla has a need right now to apply for that grant. If you have more knowledge on that, I'd be grateful.
Well, I think if there's grant money out there, you need to apply for whether you need it or not. That's not for
And we get $1 million rebate off of utilities, so I don't again see the need for an additional grant.
Well,
We have-
yeah, but there's still, if there's grants out there, you should be applying for.
Also, I got a question, Councilman Morgan. I know you said about the panel on the board that you, that we would want to try to establish. Are we gonna have the engagement of our, police to be a part of this, to be kind of like identifying and know what's going on? Because, those that are not familiar with laws and law enforcement, it's like, how are we going to do it? You know, with the input.
I agree. We should definitely have representation from local law enforcement.
Is this a large program or is this just something, I mean, is it a statewide deal or is there a big organization?
It is not statewide. Unfortunately, the state of Georgia does not resource violence prevention as it should. Again, some communities put this in their own budget. I know the city of Atlanta has a whole office for violence prevention. So it's, again, communities do it to fit the need in their area. I would hope that, you know, once this does well and other communities do well with it, the state itself could begin to allocate some resources for this too.
What other cities in our area do this?
I could not tell you besides the city of Pelham potentially.
I think it's a real idea.
I do too, I mean, I use it. I do it well.
Yeah, I think it is a good program as well. What we need to do as a council and individual, we need to get together and let's have a discussion on how we can formulate this team and make sure that we are abreast of what's going on and we can move forward. But was allocating the money, I think it is great to do that right now. And we can move forward from that. But I would like to see this council engaged on that as well, if that's something that we all agree on.
Yeah, I mean, the devil's in the details, like always. I mean, I just don't know how it's.
So all of us,
Whoever hits the way has to work.
yeah, all of us can get together and we can talk about it. And we can kind of go from there.
This is the starting point for that conversation. We got to fund it first. And as was made mention at the speaker appearances, this is our policy document. So we cannot plan a violence prevention program without having the funds already allocated. So.
All right, any more discussion on that? Okay. All right, our next item that we're going to experience, Councilman Morgan brought it to us from last week about funding $5,000 more to the election. At this time, Councilman Morgan, I'm going to turn that over to you as well, and you can kind of elaborate on the need for where you want.
You know, again, this is to give that office the resources it needs to just have a secure and efficient election. If they have a need for additional poll staff, if that office does anything where they need additional funds, this is what that office for.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that piece there?
As the election superintendent asked or requested or questioned for more money, I would think he did. I didn't hear that.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
She hasn't moved.
Lisa, do you know what we spent last year?
I would have to get that.
Yeah, Sam's, okay. I have it, and I had through, July, but I just didn't bring it in.
I can answer that, but I have to look it up.
I think.
I don't think
more
it was
accurate,
over.
Would the 23 election be the most accurate still, no? Or, because if we're looking at last year, that was a special.
Oh, that's true. But I don't remember seeing anything that went over, you know.
This money will be spent at the discretion of the election superintendent, is that correct?
That is correct.
Uh,
That is correct.
Well, there's gonna be some extra expense this go around, because Cheryl got that equipment. So the whatever the thing is where you put your license in, yeah, so.
Not like very much, was it, compared to the other?
Not 15 a month, so I have to go look at my invoice, but I was.
But again, it's good, that's,
Well,
that's,
it is gonna be
and it's a
extra.
good thing that it's in there, because that's, I mean,
Yeah,
if that turns out, I might need another one or something like that, so.
Okay. All right. All right, and our final one is our senior program, and just as I mentioned earlier, we did adopt this back in May in our council meeting. And we agreed to, as a council, to talk about this with our seniors for the funding them for the year, having them able to do things throughout the year instead of doing it once and twice a year. So this program right here will be able to, this money here allocated will be able to help our youth, not youth, but senior, to be able to do different activities in the community, go different places, and also know this year they allocated a ball for the seniors, and it turned out to be real nice. So that is what our senior program is. And sorry I didn't bring it to the forefront in the very beginning. It hit me at our last budget hearing, and it was over with, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot to mention this. So I appreciate all of you all who want to support this as well. Now it's open now for any discussion if anyone have any discussion on this.
How much was that item, probably?
It's
I
40,
know it's in here, but
yeah, 40,000.
Page
Yeah,
16.
it's 40,000
at the-
for the entire year. Any other discussion on the senior program? And just to let you all know that our seniors are very, very, very excited about knowing that we're going to put this in the budget and pass this. They are very excited. I was at a birthday party with one of the seniors that turned 80 this past weekend. And a lot of the seniors was there at the birthday party, and they was very, very excited to know that we are considering this. So, and more news to be coming with our senior program as well. Okay. All right, council, those were the 4 items that was brought to our attention on our last budget hearing. At this time, council, I'm going to ask, is there any other thing that you see on the budget that you would like there? Floor is open. All right, hearing none. I guess we'll move a little further in consideration and adoption of resolution number 2025-09-23-1, where the Administrative and Public Work Committee reviewed the documents for the 2025-2026 fiscal budget year. Tonight, we see that we represent the final budget hearing before considering adopting this budget. And we know 2 previous public hearings was held August the 13th and September the 22nd. This administrative committee recommend approving the resolution 2025-09-29-1 to adopt the fiscal budget year or the department levels and authorize the mayor pro tem to sign. Did I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right, Madam Clerk, we would like to get a roll call vote on this.
Mayor Pro Tem Darling,
Yes.
Councilmember Vereen,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Naples,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Congratulations to our new budget being passed. And thank you for all your thoughts, your considerations, and making this a success. And we look forward to getting kicked off on October 1st. We'll start our fiscal year. Okay. All right. Is there any other comments from our council at this time? Anybody has anything they need to say? All right. At this time, can we get a motion to adjourn our meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all once again, council, and thank the public for being here and the ones that are watching. Thank you, Madam Attorney.
No problem.
She didn't look different. What's going on with you?
How are you?
How you doing, sir?
Good, good. When I got today, because I love the service.